What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo's Wrestling Room here on Monday, March 21st. Joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, and we're also joined by special guest, AACW owner, Shane Cowsert. How's it going, man?
What's going on, brother? It's been a minute since I've talked to you.
Yeah,
How you guys been doing?
been doing good.
Doing good.
Holidays treat you guys well and everything like that?
Yep, pretty good.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, man, we're in full force, man, with restrictions been backed up and, getting ready to kind of get life back to normal after that damn COVID shit, after 2 years of that stuff and having to take a break from regular everyday life. So hopefully we can keep moving and keep chugging, man, keep going. So,
For the
kind
people,
of
for the
play.
people that don't know, AACW is out of Kokomo, Indiana. Why don't you tell people that didn't get the chance to see maybe the first time you was on here a little bit about AACW?
AACW, it was a promotion. Kokomo, actually, we had a promotion that ran based out of Kokomo called the Bad Boys of Wrestling back in the late '80s, early '90s, and that's actually where I got my start. And then we had another dude that come in to basically take over wrestling in Kokomo, and he had some shady dealings with the venue, and a lot of stuff happened, and he kind of got blackballed, and he was kind of like banned out of Kokomo, and Kokomo for a while didn't want wrestling around because of the black eye that he kind of put on the city, and in 2014. I was doing independent shows and shit like that, wrestling pretty much for doing some stuff, in different areas, mostly going over, to ICW over in Marion and taking photographs and stuff like that. And then I just decided one day, man, in 2014, like, yo, man, I'm ready to bring Kokomo. I'm ready to bring pro wrestling back to Kokomo. And sat down, talked to my pops a little bit, and told him, I said, hey, I want to start running shows in town. Uh, so my first show was in October of 2014, and then I done one show at a gym. It was pretty sweet because it was my old school. Um, as I was growing up, I went to a Catholic school, and the gym that I actually had my first wrestling show at was the gym that I used to do suicides and try to run my fat ass on the line, and never could try to get anywhere with it because I always too out of breath because I've always pretty much my mid childhood and my adult days, man. I'm kind of got a I'm a larger type style person, so I'm not skinny like you there, Gonzo. But yeah, so I had in 14, I had one show, and then I ran in 15 and 16 at a place called Front Row Live, and then kind of we lost the building there, got an opportunity to go over to a place called the Alliance Event Center, which we ran there all last year. Pretty much, we ran 7 to 8 shows. I think it was maybe 8, 9. Had some pretty hot shows over there, man. We had especially we had like 3 standing room only shows, and guys were a little bit limited to the things that they could do as far as the show wise, and off the top and stuff like that, because it was an old bingo hall, and it was kind of cramped for space a little bit, but they ad libbed and they made things work, and we had a few good shows, um, damn good shows. The guys, literally every one of the shows back there, they put it all on the line, bro, and they come out and they made things happen. So, I was pretty proud of my locker room. I was pretty proud of everything happened last year at the Alliance Event Center. And, out with the old and with the new, because it just wasn't working out there. So when we decided to open back up, which our first show will be April 9th. And we are going to be going to the Carver Community Center, located on 1030 North Purdom Street in Kokomo, Indiana. Tickets available right now there, or contact me and I can find a way to try to get the tickets to them. But yeah, man, opening back up. Hopefully, the guys, man, hopefully they can just put it all out there and make things happen, and kind of go all out on these shows. It's a bigger venue, and personally myself, I like the smaller venues because I like to be a little bit intimate with with the wrestling shows. A lot of guys when they run bigger venues, you have a chance to not pull in a lot of large crowds. So then it kind of makes, since you have such a big area, you know, it makes things look like you didn't have a good show. So, I've always been pretty fond of the intimate, of the smaller places that has the smaller size set up for the ring, 100, 150, 200 people. That way, man, everybody looks like they're all crammed together and, looks like you had a killer show. But we got a lot of space. I don't know how many people we're going to get, but man, I'm looking. I want to try to top what we done over here at the Alliance Event Center and go all out. And I'd like to have. I personally myself, I would be happy with a 200 house. But I want to try to push the envelope a little bit, man. I'd like to get 300 people there. I think the guys. I think if we could possibly do that, man, it'd be a chance. That'd be something special here in the city, because I don't think any of these guys that's on the roster have worked in front of a crowd that large. So that would be like the ultimate dream, to get like 250 or 300 people for a first show going out. But you know how that works, man. You guys have been to quite a few wrestling shows now over the past year. And some of them are hit and miss, they're touch and go, and but yeah, that's a little bit about AACW. So
Well, Marvelous Mr. Bell made a comment. He said you had sold out shows because of him.
yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up, because the show in November, which was our last show, basically what it was, we had at that point in time, I had when we started out last year, the goal was for me to get back in the ring and have one or two more matches, maybe 4 or 5, however we done it, but that didn't actually happen. So the last show we had a Survivor Series match, and actually what ended up happening was Justin Terrell, and this is kind of like I've had quite a few months to set and think this one over, because that was your actual that was your actual first chance in coming to our show to see our product and see what we put out at that show. And not knowing really much anything of what was going on with our superstars and stuff like that on our promotion, but you did know one individual, and you guys totally marked out for the ladies man, Mike King. And I've had a lot of time to sit and think about this and talk about this, and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Gonzo, I want to come out here, man, and me and my buddy started a podcast a little while ago. It's kind of on hiatus a little bit, and we call it Real Talk, AACW Real Talk. It's where you can just kind of just come in, talk, air out your differences, and if you got a beef to fill with somebody, you just let it all out there. So here's my beef to you, brother. All right, you and your boys marked out for Mike King, okay? And it's the love of Mike King, and I love that but the thing about it is, brother, Mike King, Mike King can I start with Mike King? I know the question is about Mr. Bill, but I kind of went off of subject because I wanted to touch this base because, as you said, DCCW, Mike King, the ladies' man, is the owner of that, right? He's the owner of DCCW.
Yes.
So I think you said tonight, Coon Dog and Mike King be on the show, whatever, and talk about the happenings. So I'm going to tell you something, brother. Just like I told you when you left our promotion that night and you left, I told you, I said, you have an open invitation to come back anytime, put your guest podcast up, podcast our show and everything else, man. Like I said, my door's always open to you, always, for you and your crew. But man, it hurt me a little bit to know that you guys marked out so much for Mike King. And like, I remember watching it over and replaying it. It's like, oh, it's ladies man Mike King. And I was like, are you serious? Are you really serious about everything? Like, me and Mike King had a lot of wars over the years. Mike took the AACW title from me. I took the title from him. He had a long going feud with my pops, man. My pops was out there. Mike would always go to my pops. My pops would always sit there and, he'd flip him off. Mike would come to him for cheap heat. But the reason why I bring all this up, man, and why I've kind of got a beef with you, brother, is because you were promoting Mike King that night. And what happened that night, brother? Mike King retired me as a performer because he pulled a swerve over Justin. That night, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to get up there and perform in that match, Justin reached out to Mike and tried to get Mike to come in since he was an AACW original. From day one, Mike was in a promotion. And at the end of the night, man, Mike turned his back on the AACW and he said, literally, that he had one thing that he wanted to do in his career. One of the biggest things and one of the highlights of his wrestling career was to make me hang it up. And so, right now, this is where I'm going with this, brother. Anytime Mike King and the DCCW wants to come over here, they've got an open invitation. They want to sit there and they think they're badass and they want to come in, take over everything that's going in my area. Bring it on, Mike. Bring it on, Mike King, because my AACW soldiers will stomp a mud hole in your ass. So that gauntlet is out there. Let him see this. Tell him it's open. Anytime he wants to challenge and he says that he thinks he's big enough to come back over here, put everything on the line to come in and, sit there and try to challenge himself with the AACW and bring DCCW boys over. Bring it on, man. Bring it on. The door's always open.
I'll show this to him this evening when he's over here.
Right. You tell him, and I'm pretty sure he'll probably touch on it. Now, to your question, since we got that out of the air, I want to tell you I love your brother, and you're a damn good dude. I love you, but don't ever, please don't ever mark out for Mike King again like you did here. Because, oh man, that hurt me, bro. That hurt me. So. Marvelous,
in our defense, now we know a lot more about you and your promotion than what we did that night when we were coming in.
Yep. Right. I get that. And I mean, that's what I was thinking, but still, man. I mean, I thought for a minute, Mike King, I thought you guys were trying to make him like Hulk Hogan or something. I mean, it's like, that was almost the mark that you guys give him. And I'm like, Mike King, the ladies' man, Mike King, damn, on his good day, he couldn't lace up my damn boots. Every time he beat me, it was always by the numbers game, man. He never beat me fair and square. And he had to pull one out, and he had to try to pull the wool over my eyes in this show and double-cross me. And I told Justin a long time ago, man, DTA, man, don't trust anyone. And it just so happened that Mike was the one that, he made me hang him up.
Before we move on, one thing I do want to say, because I feel like all the people need to know this. Go check out AACW. That show we went to that night had one of the most intimate crowds, one of the most fired up crowds that we went to out of any any show we've been to in the last year broadcasting it. Them fans were some of the rowdiest, most into the show fans that we've seen.
They love their wrestling here in Kokomo.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, they really do, man. And I'm trying to do good things and trying to, especially making the move to the Carver Community Center now. It's actually a chance for us to bigger opportunities, bigger and better opportunities. So that's one thing that, hopefully moving forward, that's one thing that's going to like benefit us as a promotion and stuff like that. But touching back on your question about Marvelous Mr. Bell, the fans do not like him. They hate him. They tell him to shut up. He doesn't need to talk. Just shut up. Just shut up. That's what they tell him. The fans come out to see good wrestling action. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna touch base here on the Marvelous Mr. Bell because going forward, he has been like before I actually stepped out and became less of a worker and a boy and part of the show. I give the Marvelous Mr. Bell a spot to be our commissioner. Well, okay. He took that, and what he done with that was he built on it because the first or second show, man, when he hits that mic, the people, he just brings the people alive because, that's exactly what happens. He's on there, boom, he starts talking, and the people they have a reaction. Whether it's a positive or negative reaction, when he talks, he gets a reaction from people. So my thought was when I was going through all this and making the dude, he was our commissioner. Okay. And he still has, and I'm going somewhere with this. It's going to take a while to get there, but I'm going somewhere with this because like I said, it's out with the old and in with the new. So what I have chosen to do, and this is my last official move as any part of AACW, as a brass guy, as somebody that's in charge of stuff. I am stripping the commissioner title away from Mr. Bell as of right now on 3/21/22. The reason being is because Mr. Bell is an active roster spot. And if you are a man that's in charge or a man that has an authority type figure or should be an authority type figure, you can't be an active wrestler. And the only reason being is because he puts his nose in everybody's business. And then his ass writes checks, or his mouth writes checks that his ass can't cash. So then he ends up getting in matches and people challenge him and go to the matches. So as of today, Marvelous Mr. Bell is stripped of his commissioner spot in AACW because he has an active roster spot.
That's big news.
I'm sure that he will probably hear that and he might think that, okay, Hog, you've done it to me again. But the reason being is because of the happenings with Mike and because of the happenings with everything else. In that match, the Marvelous Mr. Bell was involved in that match, and things kind of got out of hand. At the end, with everything that was going on, and me losing my career, man. The thing about it is it kind of hurt me a little bit. So this is my last move as acting any kind of authority figure from AACW. So, like I said, the Marvelous Mr. Bell is no longer the commissioner of AACW. And therefore, what will happen now is the voice of AACW becomes SWS, Shooting with Shame. I'm not for sure if you guys have checked out his podcast. He's done a lot of podcasts and stuff with the AACW wrestlers. And he's done some crazy stuff, man, some crazy good interviews with a lot of guys and stuff like that. But he is now our voice. He is the voice of AACW, which is Shooting with Shane, SWS. And our acting president and commissioner of AACW will be Leonard Pigg from now moving forward. So, Mr. Bell chose to put himself into a situation in that match, walking away with Brody Bodkins, with Travis Southern, and with the Hawaiian Hitman. They call themselves the Gold Standard. And Jordan Bell has aligned himself with those guys. So therefore, I'm pretty sure that they won't find a problem moving forward, because he just kind of became their manager, so to speak. He became their mouthpiece. He at that night, after he put himself in the match, whatever happened, I don't know, it just kind of fell into place. So Jordan is a big part of the AACW, but he's no longer going to have any power. I've stripped him from that, and I've made a move. And like I said, I've taken myself out of authority today with this move. This is the last actual move that I'm going to make as far as a power figure. And now, if any problems, if any of the guys want to talk about anything, they will go through Shooting with Shane, SWS, and Leonard Pigg. Those are the guys that's going to be in charge of everything that's going on. As far as Leonard Pigg will pretty much be in charge of, he will take the duties that Marvelous Mr. Bell used to have, as far as being the authority figure. And like I said, Shooting with Shane SWS will be our voice. We're going to try to do a lot of different stuff this year with these shows by putting live interviews in before and after matches. He'll be talking to the guys live, shooting out stuff with them, just talking, doing some crazy stuff, man. When it's live, when you got live and adrenaline's flowing and stuff like that, man, that makes for a better situation. So it's like, one of those guys goes out there and gets pinned for the 1, 2, 3, and they come up and he gets them for an interview. You never know what's going to come out, man. So that adds a lot of craziness to what's going on. But I'm kind of excited that we're making this new move, and with him being our voice, and as far as what's going on there. So, I found that where we're at is never, the vision that I had for AACW has never went out there completely. And this vision, trying to do some of the extra stuff, like I said, with the live interviews before and after matches and stuff like that, that's kind of a thing that I envisioned when I first started the promotion. If you go back and you take it back years ago, when NWA was doing stuff, that's kind of the envisionment that I had for our promotion, just because of the fact that I love that type of stuff, man, because you can actually get a personal feeling with the workers, with the guys, with the roster. You kind of see their personalities and stuff when you get more out of it like that. And the fans can actually see a little bit more and kind of do a little bit more when they're, on the hot seat and they're throwing out maybe 2 or 3 questions, and get an answer like that. So some things will change, but, like I said, some things will stay the same. But, as of today, we have new top brass, and Leonard Pigg is the guy in charge that will be in charge now from now on. So he's our authority figure. And Jordan, I'm sure he's still going to have, if he wants it, he's still going to have his curator's corner. He can still run his mouth, do whatever he wants. But, like I said, I can't, as he can't be in power, because, he can't tip the scale toward him and his guys. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
And hopefully he understands that business move, because he's not going to change the way he is in his personality. He's an asset to our company. From where he started to where he is now, you know, and the things that he's doing. I'm so proud to have him as a part of our roster. He is he's got a great mind for the business. You know, he does have, you know, quite a few skills. I mean, from the first time he stepped in the ring and became an active wrestler, to running around just acting crazy and doing crazy shit, following guys and, you know, interfering in matches and stuff like that. You know, he's great for the business. And like I said, you know, I have, you know, love and respect for everybody that works under my banner, whether or not they see it. But this is a business, and people are smart to what's going on. And the move for business was the best move for business, and our promotion moving forward was to take him out of a power spot, and, you know, just let him be himself, man, so he doesn't have to worry about making matches, you know, trying to put stuff together and stuff like that. We'll give somebody else that opportunity and see where we go with that. He can just go out there and be a performer, you know, and he can go do what he does, man, run his mouth and piss fans off. That's what I'm looking for. I know he'll do it to 110%, and I have no doubt about that. He's a great talent for the business.
Yeah, I agree 100% because I know that show, your last show, the first one we came to, he got a huge reaction. He does great. And also about you guys' promotion, you guys definitely got that old school feel, like that NWA feel. So I think that's a great idea to do that interview stuff. You know, maybe if you have a podium or however you do it, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Right.
That seems real good.
I'm hoping that, you know, my vision for it kind of comes out the way that I want to. I know a lot of people are trying to copy shit, but, you know, I mean, guys see it. I mean, and if it works for them, you know, a lot of guys, the way I feel, if it works for them, let's try it and see if it works for us. But you know, the thing about it is like everybody's got different, they've got different crowds, they've got different ways of doing stuff. So, and I've seen a lot of the independent promotions here in Indiana over this past year where they have actually been, you know, guys have been stepping up, man, and they've been doing other shit moving forward. And you know, I mean, they've been adding little stuff here and there to make their product better. And, you know, like I said, you know, when I stepped back and thought about it, you know, I mean, I'm going to have pride in my company, and I'm going to try to, you know, make my product the best out there and say that I have no problems trying to move forward and add stuff and try to figure shit out. But like I said, this is going to add a different element, and you know, it's going to get some of the fans and you know, I mean, it's going to get people more, I guess, aware and more understanding of, you know, kind of the personalities that some of our roster and stuff have. So I think it's actually going to be fun. I really do, because, you know, like I said, it's a lot of things can happen from a live interview set, man. You know, I mean, watching wrestling back in the past, you know, I mean, when guys used to do live interviews, man, people come out and attack them. You know, I mean, you call somebody out, boom, matches just happen on the fly and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, a lot of things can happen from a live interview. And, you know, I mean, I think that just adds a different element to what we're trying to do. And who knows, man, we'll see. So I'm pretty happy that trying to move forward with that, adding that element to our show. And I'm hoping we have a huge show coming out tonight, man. I want to come out of the gate and I want to knock it out of the park.
We did have somebody get on here, Marcus Fine, and he said to ask you about Pops almost starting the riot.
That probably would have been Troy Miller and myself, working in the main event at Center Stage. I think it was actually right before, a little before we found out that my pops was actually ate up with cancer. Man, I'll tell you, it was a crazy situation, man. Because I mean, I had a lot of my family representing some of the people coming to see me work for the first time, and you know, it was very crazy because my pops at that point in time, he had, you know, he was getting older and he had stages of dementia and Alzheimer's coming in, and he really didn't, you know, I mean, at times he was there, but if you have anybody that suffers from that disease, you kind of know what it takes away from, where they're kind of just a shell of themselves and they don't really understand what's going on. But yeah, man, it was so crazy because me and Troy, man, we were bringing the heat, and you know, we were having a lot of fun, bro. I mean, it was like everything was just like clicking back and forth, back and forth. We were actually on the outside of the ring, and you know, I mean, Troy at the time, Troy Miss Liz was his valet, and she was escorting him to the ring and stuff. And they actually got around to where my pops was sitting at. And my pops, you know, I mean, he walked with a cane, man. And if you were a heel and he didn't like you, he was going to slap you. He was going to get you. He was going to poke you with that cane. And he poked Liz with that cane, bro. And he started to go after Troy. And yeah, I mean, he was guys would look to him for heat, bro, because he would definitely give it. You know, I mean, when I wasn't on an active roster at a promotion here in town, when the guy was running shows, I actually by my guy Twisted, that is my referee. He's my senior referee, and he actually got me kicked out of a live free show at a festival, at the Hayes Apperson Festival here in Kokomo. And, you know, I mean, we got ejected. We got moved from the area. They had security come over and stuff like that. My dad was a diehard wrestling fan, man, always. And that's where I got it from. He loved it from day one. And, you know, like I said, at that point in time when we got kicked out, you know, I mean, he was so pissed. He was pissed at that festival, bro, that we moved, and, you know, he just sat there and let it eat at him and eat at him and eat at him. Later on, they started getting ready to go for fireworks, you know, and my dad's like, hey, you know, Pops, he's like, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to talk to that motherfucker. And, you know, I want to understand why, you know, why we got kicked out. So we walk up there, and guys, you know, the promoter of the show, of that show, was not really understanding what was going to go on, you know, because my dad, you know, called him out like, hey, I want you to come over here, you know, come over here. I need to talk to you. And, you know, he started to bring his big security guys with him. He's like, no. Don't go there. Me and you going to talk one-on-one. You know, I want to talk to you man to man, ask you why we got kicked out of a live show. And from that day forward, I started working for that company. My dad was their number one fan. I started having some heat with that promoter because at the time he was a manager. And that next year was actually it was pretty funny because we actually got him back because my mother took a big ice cooler full, dumped it on the promoter. It was me and him in a match. And then my pops, he shoved a fucking hot dog down his mouth with fucking, you know, so I mean, he was able to get back at him that way. But yeah, man, he was what you always want a regular wrestling fan to be, man, because you look for that heat. And if it, you know, whether or not you get a reaction from a fan, okay, whether you're doing your job well, you know, if you're a baby face or if you're a heel, I mean, they're going to cheer you if you're a baby face and they're going to boo you if you're a heel. And if you're getting a reaction from the crowd, you know, you're doing your job great. And, you know, all the guys would come to my pops because they knew that just if they looked at him one way or they said something to him, you know, he'd be flipping the bird, or they'd come out and he'd be swinging his cane at him. They loved it. They loved it. You could actually ask Jared that tonight too. Ask Mike King about that too, about getting the cheap heat for my pops. You know, great guy, man. Great. We had some good battles. Jared and myself had some good battles. And like I said, man, to me, I pay tribute and homage to the people who give me a start here in AACW because my pops' banner that I had made after he had gotten a sickness and passed away, I wore the banner as a cape that I had made, so he was always on my back. and he was on my back that time when I actually I took the championship, the AACW championship, right after his death, and together we made that happen. And ever since then, he's always had a part of the show. The banner's always been there showing. He's always been there to show. I pay homage to him, because he was a special. He's a special dude, man. And I mean, my number one fan. And when I started, when I lost him, and I would happen to look in the area where he would always sit, it just didn't feel the same. And so therefore, when I was working on the shows and stuff, I would take, and this is another part too, when a riot got started too, because it was the first show after his death. I was wrestling Mike King, and I had the banner, which was representing my pop's face, had his cane, his jacket, and his hat in his spot, and right off the bat, man, Mike comes out, kicks the cane over, slaps the banner down, takes the hat, puts the hat on. And my cousin was sitting there right near him, and my cousin, man, literally he was walking with a cane at the time, and he literally almost shoved it up Mike's ass, and Mike would have probably had to have it surgically removed from his butthole, because he felt that, that was a little bit disrespect to, for him to do that to my pops. But, it was Mike, and how, it was how, we had a long going feud, and that was him playing it up and doing his job as an entertainer, and nothing but love for him, man. Like I said, because it's been good. I had a good almost 30-year career, and I'm still a little bit unhappy that I can't perform, because I feel like I still had some years left to go, teach some of these young cats how to work like we used to back in the 90s. And but it is what it is, man. So we have to move forward, and we have to pave the way for the other guys to try to go out and entertain. So it's all good, man. It's all love. But I know I kind of ramble on, and I don't go like in the same places. Like, I may talk about Jordan here and then go back in and talk about somebody else. But the common denominator when my conversations, what do you think it is? The ladies' man, Mike King, because he's always been there. So that's why there's so much heat, man. That's why when you guys made him feel like a freaking superstar, that's why it hurts my heart, brother.
How many years do you think you and the ladies' man have been going at it?
Oh my God, bro. Jesus, I'd say I can't even remember when I first met Mike. We were on a show together. I don't even remember. God, I'd say it had to be like right around maybe somewhere in like the getting to the maybe 2010-ish type time, and around that time. So it's been it's been a good, we started working on shows, and like I said, he was, when I was on my 14th show, he was actually in a match pitted against Bobo Brazil Jr. So he started working for me in 14, but we had shows and been on shows and stuff together. So I'd say probably maybe around 2012. So it's almost been 10 years, or maybe a little bit longer. So yeah.
You got something, Dad?
No, I was going to ask him, does he have any matches or anything that he has planned for this show that he'd like to announce?
Yeah. We do. I have 3, and those, the reason we have the Rick Vidal versus Eric Fallon for the AACW championship. Then we have the Bad Boys of Wrestling championships, tag team championships. Will be defended. Christian Cash and Justin Terrell will take on Brody Bodkins and Travis Southern. And then the EEC championship, Damian DeVille, the champion, against Chad Cross, the challenger. So those are the 3. I feel like, need to, when you do a show, man, you announce your main matches, and then like all the other ones just kind of fall in place. So
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of people reach out and, you know, contact me. So I mean, I think that the show's pretty well booked. You know, we have Preston Churchill coming in. We have you know, Jesus, I don't have my cheat sheet here. We have the Hawaiian Hitman who will be here with them. I have Hysterics the Clown along with uh, Tyson Lane. We have American Muscle, Axel Cruz. Geez, Louise, man, I'm on the spot. I kind of write it. It's kind of funny the other day because when I started putting the matches together, I was at work, done it all within like on a 12-hour shift within like 2 hours, wrote it down on a napkin, took a picture of it, and I'm like, this is where it's at. This is kind of where I'm going with stuff. Had to make some changes a little bit. You know, we did use the Russian gimmick at the last show, but I chose to kind of push that back a little bit, especially because how things have escalated over in Ukraine with Russian Ukraine. I don't think that right now that it's the proper time to bring that character into our promotion right now, just because of, you know, I mean, a lot of people
at your last show. The other guy that was with us, he ain't here today, but he was at that show with us. The redhead guy, Stevie. That was it. That was his favorite part of the show was when you had the Russian against the United States guy.
Yeah.
His favorite part. And then when every time we interview somebody, he'll tell them every wrestler show needs to have a Russian against the United States guy.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, I mean, that's I mean, like right now with what's happening in real life.
Yeah.
You know, I chose, you know, to kind of back that up a little bit until things kind of slow down a little bit, because some people
understand that.
At first, you know, I was like, hey, it shouldn't be a problem. But as I started seeing things develop, I mean, because we all have a heart and not really knowing exactly what's going on over there. And I mean, you know, at the same point too, man, you know, I mean, I kind of feel for the guy that does the gimmick because, you know, I mean, who knows if he gets a lot of heat, bro, he might have, you know, I mean, somebody coming after him, you know, I mean, not knowing what's going on. So, you know, I mean, the thing about it is, hopefully we'll be bringing that gimmick back. Petrov, we'll be bringing him back. Hopefully, you know, after everything kind of dies down a little bit, and so we'll have that going. But yeah, I mean, pretty much the same roster that we had at the show. They should pretty much all be there. But like I said, as far as match wise, you know, I had to make some changes on stuff. But like I said, I didn't want to come forth and announce, you know, like any matches, basically just the three that are the most important, which is championship matches.
Yeah.
Because the other ones kind of fall into place. So, but yeah, we have all three of our championships will be up for grabs that night. And you know, like I talk about a little bit about, you know, with me, man, I like to pay homage and like to give back. So basically, what I've done with Bad Boys of Wrestling, you know, was a big part of. That's where I got my start. And you know, everybody kept talking about tag team championships. And you know, one day I was just sitting around here. I was sitting around here at my house, and I was like, you know what? I got to look for those titles because it's time to put those titles in play because they're a part of me and a part of my promotion. And so therefore, when I brought those into play, that pays back. Everything goes full circle because, like I said, I pay homage to my pops, you know, by bringing the banner out there. And these titles, the last people to hold these titles before Justin and Christian and they became active again was the promoter of Bad Boys of Wrestling and myself. And it was Playboy Johnny Lee. And at the time, that's who was promoting the shows. But we were actually working a gimmick as the Primetime Swines. And We were the last actual Jake Harrison hog and Johnny Lee hog. So we were the actual the last performers to hold those titles until I brought them back active, and Christian and Justin won them. So that to me is kind of like a special place too in my heart for that. So I always like to try to give back, man, and I always try to say that, you know, you won't ever get anywhere in this business if somebody doesn't have belief in you and you get opportunity. And that's what I've done with most of these guys that, you know, from last year and stuff like that. Because you have to have somebody believe in you every day. And then if they give you an opportunity to go out there and perform, to make yourself better and try to give you a chance to be something, then, you know, I mean, you have to make that yourself and run with it. So, if, you know, I mean, but if somebody believes in you, then you can make something out of yourself. And I just feel that it's my time, man, just to give back to people and to, you know, move forward. And I'm no longer, you know, I'm no longer one of the boys, man. I'm the promoter, I'm the boss. So, you know, I mean, it's like Mike took that away from me, being one of the boys. So, you know, I've got to be a little bit more stern on things and the decisions that we make.
Speaking of Mike,
moving forward.
He just made a comment. He said you need to get out of that truck and give that hoodie back.
No, it's actually my sister's car, man. My fucking truck's been down for fucking weeks, bro. Weeks and months. Transmission went out on my truck. Then get that fixed, and then the damn sensor went out. And then got that fixed. Thought I had it fixed. They replaced it, and then the fuel pump went out. And then they put the fuel pump on. It was a bad part, so I'm waiting to get it fixed now again. So, and my sister's letting me use her car, man. And I hit a freaking deer the other day on the way to work. So it's shit doesn't, you know, I mean, it kind of rolls downhill. But you know, Mike would wear this hoodie. Don't let him fool you. He would wear this hoodie. I mean, because if you look at his trunks are pretty close to what, you know, I mean, he's got a lot of crazy designs on his trunks, and he'd probably wear this hoodie as his ring jacket, as a ring hoodie.
He said
he ain't fooling nobody.
That he told you not to buy a Chevy.
Oh, man. It ain't that, bro. It ain't that. Anything right now, man. Parts are cheap, bro. Parts are cheap for everything, yep. and you know they can't get parts in to fix shit. That's what's crazy, because like our economy, man, is just so crazy right now, and everything just the world's been so crazy in the last, you know, 2 years, and it's just like coming in and doing shows and stuff, man, and trying to get back to full force and stuff like that, man, to try to take a little bit of the craziness out of it and try to get back to something and have fun with people entertaining and trying to do stuff. Hopefully, you know, it moves, you know, it pauses everybody's life for a couple hours and lets them go someplace else and have a little bit of fun. So, you know, I mean, life is crazy right now, man. It's crazy.
Then the marvelous Mr. Bell with another comment. April 9th, we will hear and new Bad Boys of Wrestling Tag Champs, the gold standard.
Woo! See, like I told you, man. Like I told you, he's already on it. I mean, even though I stripped him of his authority, he's already there. He's already cutting out for his guys, man. He's already cutting out for his guys, and he's got it. I mean, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, he'll do everything in his power to try to make them succeed. So, you know, like I said, he's great for the business, man. Jordan, Mr. Bell, he's I mean, the cat's got it. He's got it. He's got that it factor. I mean, because he wows a crowd regardless, you know, I mean, regardless of what he's doing. And I'm proud to have him. I'm proud to have come across him and given him an opportunity to move up in this business and you know, make a name for himself. He's done great, man. He's done great. And I'm proud. Yeah, completely. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, there's a part of me, you know, that gets pissed off, but there's a part of me that still loves these guys, man, because, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here for the same thing. And, I mean, we are a big family, but, kayfabe, I don't think she exists anymore. But, I get humbled at times, man, just to know that I was lucky to do the things that I've done. And I've met a lot of people. I just had this conversation the other day with Justin's mother and father that if I had not have been involved in wrestling, I wouldn't have met some of the people that I met. I wouldn't have had those long lasting relationships, had I not been in wrestling. Especially with Jordan and some of the guys that would come over and they would try to further themselves to try to get their character and make their character and try to do the things that they needed to do. As far as you guys, not being involved in wrestling, I wouldn't have never even been able to meet you guys. And as far as Mike, man, it's been great. Me being around the business and meeting long lasting relationships that I've met from the wrestling business, man. That means a lot to me. And we're all human. We love stuff. I know that I've kind of talked a little bit gimmick wise. I've kind of went off script a little bit, doing other stuff as far as being personal with stuff. But hey, I'm a human. I know there's times that J.H. Hogg might kind of killed his career. He's done. So this is Shane talking to you from a spot, man. I mean, it's not talking to me as my wrestling gimmick.
Yeah.
And as J.H. Hogg, it's me talking to you as Shane. So, I mean, and I love it.
Mike said there is some people you don't want to remember.
As far as, I mean, I've got a few, but I've got a few. I mean, because some people give you they kind of put a bad taste in your mouth a little bit by doing stuff and kind of cutting corners and doing stuff, backstabbers and people that
And some people do stuff that can hurt the business.
Snakes. Yeah,
hurt
snakes.
the business as a whole.
Snakes. Yeah, there's a few snakes that I've come across too. So I had a couple individuals that tried to steal everything that I had built up, trying to build. They tried to get my venue. They tried to do everything. They tried to, my sound man, my guy that done all my videos, all my editing and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a lot of snakes in this business too. But while you got him there too, Mike, I'm talking to you now, man, and you can hear this. I'm giving you open opportunity for you. Anytime you feel froggy, you and the DCCW guys can jump on over here because my soldiers will roll with me, man. I don't know about yours, but I know mine will back me up. So the gauntlet's there, man. If you want it, you bring ladies man Mike King over here, and I'll put, well, not me, because I've been taken away, and I'm not one of the boys anymore, but I'm sure that Leonard Pig will make a match. Or, I mean, if you guys just want to come over and just make yourself known, I don't care, I mean, because I don't think you guys are bad enough I don't think you've got anybody on your roster that can hold a candle to anybody that we have on ours. Because I think Justin Terrell is going to be after you pretty soon, Mike, because of the backstabbing. You undercut us, man. I told him not to trust you. And what'd you do? You come in and retired me, man. And that like I said, that hurts. That hurts. But come on over, Mike. Come on over to Kokomo when the AACW, when their doors open up. You got an open invitation anytime you want to come over, bub. Anytime.
He hasn't made a comment yet, but I'm sure he'll make a comment on here in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Bro, the last time I came over there, you lost everything. I come over there with my guys and just start running things for you, if that's what you're wanting.
Oh, man, that hurts. Yeah, you did. You did put me under, Mike. You took everything away from me. So I have to give it there. I have to give it to you there.
And
It hurts.
And the marvelous Mr. Bell said he has moves to make, but rest assured he will take his power back.
Oh, see what I said? See what I said? Hey, he's got moves to make, and he's already looking for that. He's already looking for that up there. He's already looking for that to get it back. I mean, and the only reason why I took it away from him, and I don't know if I don't know if he was here to hear that, but it's because I personally felt that, I mean, you can't have the power and I mean, go out there and be on a power trip and stack the deck for you and your guys. So that's why I chose to and then, like I said, Mr. Bell, that was my last active move that I made as an official for AACW. So everything going forward now will be handled by Leonard Pig. So if you guys have any grievances, you need to talk to Lenny about that, and Lenny will make the decisions now that will moving forward. He will make the decisions of authority, and you guys better keep it in line. I love it.
We got both of them in here making comments now.
Yeah, hey, we put it out there. So yeah, April. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you this new venue. How far is it from where you were at last time when we came?
Ah, man. Maybe like 5 miles. It's actually a little bit deeper in town. Yeah, it's on the north side of town now. I mean, you might ask Jordan. I mean, I'd say it's probably about maybe 6 miles up, like further into town.
Okay.
But it's actually they have two full-size basketball courts, and we'll be using the newest basketball court, the gym size on there. So, I mean, the guys are going to have opportunity. They're going to have a lot of opportunities they couldn't have over there, which makes it a little bit better. And like I said, hopefully, we can build on what we had over there as far as I mean, we can build our fan base. Hopefully we have a better turnout.
Mr. Bell says it's 15. Mr. Bell says about 15 minutes from the old venue.
15?
About 15 minutes.
I don't know if it'd be that. I mean, well, with lights and everything like that, yes, possibly. But I mean, yeah. I mean, but it's better. I mean, there's opportunity. There's opportunity there. There's opportunity to grow. Like we were maxed out. We were maxed out at the Alliance Event Center. But over here, I mean, like if we put the shows together, I mean, we can keep growing. I mean, like I said, man, I'm aiming the first show right out of the gate. Like I want 2 or 250 right out of the gate and build from there.
I know that show we was at. It was standing room only in there that night. It was a good crowd. Like I said, it was one of the more engaged crowds that we've seen.
Yep, definitely.
Are you reading what? Are you reading what he said?
I'm reading Jared. Yeah.
I didn't know if you guys could see the ones I put up on the screen. And then Marcus.
Oh, it's true, bro. Listen, now he's sitting there busting on my pops. Oh, see, he's going to talk shit. He's going to talk shit when he knows I can't do nothing and I'm limited. See, because that would force me to put my boots back on. Yeah.
Marcus Fine
he took that away from me, so I can't do it.
Marcus Fine said if it's the building that he's thinking it is, it's a good venue.
Yeah, it's 1030 North Purdom Street, Carver Community Center. Yeah, it's a big place. They actually had. I was talking to the director up there, and he, when I talked to him about bringing wrestling up there, he's like, "Oh, he said I'd done 3 shows, boxing shows there, so I mean, at a point in time, I guess he kind of turned it out a little bit with maybe a 400 people house in professional boxing shows, 3 of them 1 year. So, yeah, there's opportunity there. So, like I said, man, I'm happy to, I'm happy to bring this to Kokomo. There for a little bit, I was thinking, I was gonna be, we wasn't gonna be able to have a building. We wasn't gonna be able to start, because things were kind of looking scarce. I mean, like I said, this is like the third try, man. This is a third different area, and like I said, hopefully we can, work some things out with them and have a place for permanent shows. Until we can find something of ourselves, find something of our own. But for the time being, shit.
Did you see the one before that?
Nah, I don't think so. Was that the one where he was talking about my daddy?
No. Oh, wait. No, it's this one. Here we go.
Oh, get out of here. This dude is so full of himself. Oh my gosh, bro.
Marcus Fine wanted to know if it's the building that Reader ran that was supposed to have DDP there, but he wasn't.
No. This is further in town. Like that was on 931. This is North Purdom Street. That building there was actually Johanning Civic Center. And I did forget about, 'cause I ran a show there in a smaller room there because I couldn't afford to rent out the big hall. But yeah, this is Carver Community Center off 1030. The address is 1030 North Purdom Street. And that venue has actually been given back to the people that used to own it, I guess. And they actually have little businesses and stuff set up in there now. So that's no longer a venue. That building is no longer a venue for like rentals and stuff. They actually have different stuff in there. So
what time does the show start on April 9th?
Show starts at 7:05. It's an independent show, so do they always start on time? But it's slated to start at 7:05. Hopefully we won't have any problems. And doors open at 6:30. Tickets are $12, 5 and up. If you are a first responders, military, and Carver Community Centers get a discount of $10. They get $2 off of the tickets. But yeah, it's 7:05 bell time, 6:30 doors open.
And $12, that's just for any seat? It's just all general admission?
Yeah, everything's general admission. So, yeah. I was hoping you guys would be available, but when I heard you were booked, I was like, damn, guess got to start penciling you guys in, man, because you guys are getting all this work going everywhere else. Ain't got no time for the AACW anymore.
If we're booked for a big benefit show, you might know the kid that has epilepsy. Bubba, I think.
Bubba.
It's down in Jeffersonville, Indiana. We're going down there for that.
Oh yeah.
My team said front row live packed it. Last venue obviously packed it. Carver Center people are already waiting in line.
I hope, man. I hope. I mean, we've had some pretty good luck, man. We've had some pretty good luck, and that also comes with the roster, man, with the roster and locker room. So like I said, ever since I started, since day one, everybody's pretty much been good to me. As if I was, we all bullshit because we try to handle our gimmicks and stuff like that. But when it's all said and done, it's like we're there to do a job. we're there to make things happen and entertain. And like I said, man, locker room, not having any toxic people in the locker room, and guys working together and wanting to be a part of it, part of something to move up. That makes a difference, man, because you have better shows like that. And, it's just, it's all about, trying to forward yourself, basically, is what it is. Trying to move forward and do good things. Always build on the show, build on the show. The next show, you always want to build forward. So, and we have had that last year. Every show I feel that we put out there, naturally we had 3 that were standing room only, but every show I felt was good last year. So hopefully, we can follow this year up, new venue, new shows going on. Hopefully we can pack the house. I would love to see that. Because the guys work hard, man, and they deserve it. So, when you can give back and do stuff like that and do special stuff, it's well worth the reward. So,
I think you guys will. I think you'll do well. You guys got a good product, and I think Kokomo is a wrestling town, kind of like Muncie. It's a wrestling town. We probably did 14 or 15 shows now, and there's some people that's doing good shows, but they struggle. We went to one show. It was only the second show. They had 30 people. We went to the third show. It was probably double, about 60 or 70. Of course, they just started, but they're not in a wrestling town. So I don't know. But most shows we go to, it's about 100 to 150 people.
I really prefer. I say you can make any town a wrestling town. You just have to have, you have to give the people, because everything moves like word of mouth, man. And even if it's not a wrestling town, you have to give the people something to want to come back, and you can make things happen like that. And that's the one thing. They hate you, Mike. They hate you. Kokomo hates you, Mike King. They don't like you, especially with the bullshit that you pulled in November. They don't like you.
Mike King. Yeah.
They don't like you, Mike King. But you can make any town a wrestling town. Just like I said, man, you've got to give them a reason to want to come back. And I think that's if you do it right, the guys perform. And that adrenaline pumps, and anybody that's been out there and it's an entertainer, when you feel it and you start bringing it, and it's like, people want to see that stuff. If you tell a story and continue to keep telling that story, and people will come see it. You build it, you build it, they'll come see it. That's exactly how that's how it works, man. And we've been pretty lucky, and I'm kind of a little bit scared, but hopefully we can make this happen. The other ones have been great, so hopefully this one will too.
I think you guys are going to do real well.
With the quality show you guys put out, I don't think you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, I wish Gonzo's wrestling room would be there, but I get it. Next one, man, you got to put us in line for the next one.
I said, give me the date as soon as you know. That way I can write it down on the calendar, and so we don't double book anywhere.
Yeah, we'll do. I'm hopeful that I'm hopeful that I find out something. But like I said, with their their basketball tournaments and all that stuff with their basketball leagues and stuff, I think that's why he hasn't opened up the other dates yet, is because he's trying to find a way to work around it. So, but yeah, most definitely. I'm kind of fired up, but then in the same instance, man, I'm like, okay, you always want to have something that you always want to move forward and do better. And I want to pack this place because I believe that we have a great product, and we can make something special happen here in Kokomo.
I'll keep, even though we're not going to be able to be there, I'll keep sharing your guys' flyer and everything to help get the word out there for you.
Yeah, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. That's awesome. Every little bit.
Like
helps,
I said, we got Marvelous Mr. Bell's going to come on the show the week of your guys' show, so to help talk about it some too. So, and might Might see if I can get Justin and Christian to come on before the show again. They both been on before, but maybe get them back on here.
Yeah, yeah. You might reach out to Travis. Travis might be available to
Yep.
do something too. So
He came on once too. I reached out to him, and Brody's came on before. We see Brody and Christian Cash. We see a bunch because
yeah, they work at
mm,
Indianapolis, right?
yep,
For
WCWO.
WCWO. Yeah,
Yep,
You had DeVille
and
on
then
too.
yep.
yeah,
Deville's been on.
they're packing the house pretty much up there almost every show, and they're doing a weekly at WCWO, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's I don't know, it's kind of good. It's kind of fun to see that wrestling's come back. Like it seems like it's come back around, but I don't know, man. I don't I don't know. I mean, it's just like the products on the independent. I think sometimes is much more better than at times what they run on WWE. Because I mean, like I felt like we could have put a few of our matches like and ran them right next to something that they had up there on the weekly programs, and we could have outdone them.
I'll be honest with you. I watch more independent wrestling now than I do the stuff on TV.
Right. It's hard to set through a regular program and watch like a 3 hour program of Raw or 2 hours SmackDown and follow everything that they're doing because they're just in and out so much and they've gotten rid of so many stars and moved different people over and I mean like they take people from NXT, put them on the main roster, change their gimmick, change everything about them. Okay, does that? I mean, why you even call them up? Why do you even put them there if you're going to change everything about them? I mean, that's like with Pete. Uh,
Pete Dunne.
Pete Dunne.
yeah, Pete Dunne, yeah, and now he's Butch or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see this little stuff about Stone Cold.
Yep.
With Stone Cold and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I am too.
But we all know that that's really not going to be too much of a match. It's going to be like, a brawl, and then it's this, and then you go, he's going to get stunned. So
he's going to drink some beer and going to give the crowd what they want to see. They want to see Stone Cold come out, flip somebody off, stun them.
I don't know how much they're going to do because I've heard now that that's going to be the last thing of the first night. So it's kind of the main event. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're saying that's going to go on after the Charlotte and Ronda Rousey match. It's going to be the last thing.
People I bet you they're going to do like you said. Now even makes me think that more. Now they're going to do it at the end. Is they're going to build it up. He's going to do something, and then they're going to wrestle the next night of WrestleMania.
That's possible.
I don't know. It's crazy, man. And then, what about the another thing too, man? I want to touch on is I want to put a shout out there to Thunder Rosa on winning the AEW Women's Title. Back in 2016, we had her under the AACW banner. It was a great joy to have her and Holiday work their ladies match on our show in 2016 at Front Row Live. That was a show that Rikishi, I had a chance to bring Rikishi in, and Justin and myself, along with Rikishi, worked Dice Man Ronnie Vegas, Mike King, and Rob Kincaid, and that was a fun match. So I mean, it's like I said, Thunder Rosa out there doing her thing, and I mean, that's just giving a shout out to her and how far she's come along, and doing great stuff now with AEW, and had it not been my long and lasting feud with Mike King and Dice Man Ronnie Vegas. I always said when I was wrestling that I would never be able to wrestle some of the legends, some of the people that were in the Hall of Fame, and I got a chance to, at Front Row Live, working Mike and Dice Man Ronnie Vegas. I got a chance to be tag team partner to the Barbarian against Mike and Ronnie, and then I got a chance to, like I said, work with Rikishi in a 6-man against that. So like I said, come back to Mike King, man. Our battles have been there. but I mean, he was, I mean, the battles were great, battles were good, and uh, he is my brother, and I mean, we've been down the road, and I mean, we've done some great things together. So I mean, it's,
Well,
it's
they,
just a lot,
they
a
say
lot
the
of good
guys you
memories.
have some of your biggest wars against can turn out to be some of your best friends.
Yes. Yeah. As far as, I mean, taking outside, like if I mean, I don't ever think that J.H. Hogg and Mike King could ever be friends, but I mean, Shane and Jared, they can be brothers. So, I mean, that's just something different, I mean, that's
Yep.
something special, man, because I mean, like I said, had it not been involved in doing some of the stuff, I would have been able to be in some of the matches that I was in if Mike wasn't involved in them too. So, I mean, that's a lot of pride. I take a lot of pride in that and stuff. So, I mean, like I said, this is kind of like a heartfelt thank you to Mike for letting sharing that part of the ring with him. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I just wish my body wouldn't have give out on me too. My body gave out on me too soon. I still wanted to go out there and perform, but it just wasn't going to happen again. So now it's time for me to, you know, try to get things ready for these guys, for them to go out there and pass the torch and try to work out there and make themselves superstars. So I mean, like I said, April 9th, we will see. It's a new day. Turn the page, and it's 2022. So we'll see what's going on with the AACW in April. April 9th, new day. Out with the old, in with the new. So
Said 7:05 bell time, 6:30 doors open,
yes,
$12
sir.
general admission.
Yes, sir. General admission. $10 off first responders, um, and military, and CCC, if you're CCC members,
And you get
Carver Community Center.
and you also can find more information at AACW Old School Lives on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh,
AACW Old School Lives. Yeah.
you
And then,
Okay, go ahead. I was going to ask if you had any other social media that they could find stuff on.
oh, man. I think mostly everything is done through Facebook. We
Okay.
run like different stuff on TikTok that's actually shared with Facebook. We got an Instagram. But I very, very seldom ever post on it. So, but yeah, um, definitely can find out through Facebook. Yeah. So a lot of people's probably like, man, this has been a boring conversation. I mean, it's like, but
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, I love the business. I love being a part of it. And like I said, you know, I'm happy to be out there. I'm happy to be a part of it, and happy to, even though after some things have stopped, I still get a little bit of notoriety and stuff to try to pump things up. And I could talk all day long about wrestling and not so much myself, but just about everything else. But like I said, man, I'm hoping right as soon as I get a date for the next show, whatever, I'll shoot it to you so we can get you on. Make sure you guys get back down here to cover
Definitely
some
want.
of our stuff.
Yeah, we definitely want to get back down there. We really enjoyed coming up there last time. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
loved having you here, guys.
all the
go ahead, Dad.
wrestling, independent wrestling fans out there need to go to Kokomo, check out the show. Hey, Muncie's about an hour away. Hey, it was a quick drive. All you guys go check out the show. It's a really good show, especially for old school wrestling fans. They definitely need to go check you guys out.
You need to give me a merch shirt, man. You need to give me one of those Gonzo's wrestling room shirts.
I
I
have
need a
I
big
have
boy
some more.
shirt.
I have some
I
ordered right now. When I get some in, I'll get you one.
I need a
Hey,
big
this
boy
will this
shirt,
will make you
man.
feel good here. This will make you feel good here. The ladies' man Mike King don't even have a G.W.R. shirt yet.
Oh, he'll have one probably before me.
Oh no,
Hey,
depends on who I see
cause
first after I get the shirts.
hey, cause he's your favorite, man. I know you. Hey, I know you balled out for him. Hey, you marked out for him, bro. You marked out for him. I never heard so. Mike King never. He never had such a loud. He never had such a louder cheering section ever than G.W.R. than you guys, man. You guys were just so marked. Uh you guys were ladies man Mike King marks that night. And I mean, like, he never had so many fans like that. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't believe this.
Marcus Fine said neither one of you guys have a t-shirt yet, but he does.
I know, right? I know. He needed to support his AACW stuff. You got AACW, Marcus? I don't remember if I even have. I probably didn't have no big ones, no big boy shirts made like that. So I got to make sure I touch out on that. So yeah, and that's another thing too. We're full merch. We got merch available. Concessions will be available up there. As Carver Center is going to run their concessions. They have fountain drinks. They have the famous Carver fries. They have pizza rolls. They have a big selection of stuff. So yeah, everything's just hopefully, man, like I said, get this first show out of the way, man, have success with it, come back and have success on more shows going down the line, man. So hopefully it's a good partnership between AACW and Carver Community Center. So yeah, hopefully we can do that, man. Hopefully it'll be great.
Marcus Fine said not yet.
Right. We'll have to make sure we change that shit because he's got to be repping AACW too. So
Tell you what, you talk about some hardcore wrestling fans. You see him and his wife everywhere.
oh yeah.
Awesome.
They yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, man, it's a funny story. I mean, I've known Marcus for years, bro. Marcus was probably at the very. I don't even know. Marcus used to come to a lot of the shows here in town in Kokomo, and and it's funny because Marcus will show some of the stuff, like he'll show some posters and stuff. And back in the '90s, man, back in the early '90s, I can remember that's probably the first, like the early '90s when I first started, because I started in '92, and that was probably the year that I actually met Marcus, because I know that he shared a photo of a poster that he had. But at the time when I broke into the business, I was working under a hood, and I was the executioner. I was a BBOW's executioner. So every promotion had an executioner, or they had a hangman, or they had something, because that was just an easy gimmick to put out there and somebody to put somebody over. And but yeah, man, I mean, Marcus has been a fan of mine, and I mean, for years. I mean, as much, and to see him when I started running shows again, and he contacted me, and basically, I think like the conversation was, "Do you remember me?" And I'm like, "Damn straight, I do." And I mean, it's like the thing about it was, I mean, he's always been a fan, and great wrestling fan. Love everything. Love him coming out and supporting all the independent guys. Because when you have a fan like that, man, that's a true fan to follow somebody for damn near 30 years. So yeah, it's totally good. But good fans, him and Kelly. Definitely glad that I was able to meet them and shit like that. So that's cool. But
you have anything else, Dad?
No, I'm good.
All right. Do you have anything that you want to touch on, Shane? Anything else before we get out of here?
Just everybody who's fans of wrestling, go out and support DCCW. Go out and support AACW. Go out and support some of the other smaller. I mean, you can catch In Your House podcast with the director.
Yep, director
and
Hollywood
Mr.
House.
Bell's on. Yeah, Hollywood House is on there, and Marvelous Mr. Bell's on there.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely check that shit out. Hopefully within the near future, here pretty soon, hopefully my podcast is going to be able to start back up. AACW Real Talk, hopefully within the next couple months. That's kind of where we bring it down a little bit. You can flip and fly all the F-bombs and have fun and stuff like that. I try to keep it under control, be a little bit more professional when I come on as a guest, but I mean, sometimes you got to just let the hair down and just let it go all out there. But yeah, man, just try to support the locals and everybody out there trying to work their butt off, trying to make things happen, man. and you guys keep doing your stuff. You guys are doing an excellent job with everything you guys do and stuff like that. And much love goes out to you, all your guys, all the all the G.W.R guys, DCCW guys, my guys. Love all you guys, and just go out there and fans share this shit. Become fans, new fans, old fans. We're all good fans. Let's just go out there and entertain and have some good times, man. So, like I said, people's probably gonna be like, "Man, this has been a boring conversation," but the thing about it is, man, I appreciate you guys having me back on.
No problem.
And like I said, I could talk all day, man, but it's like about time to make this one from an end because I've been rattling off for an hour and 25 minutes. So, I ain't letting nobody else really talk that much, but
Hey.
But like I said, man, much love and peace goes out to you guys, and keep doing your thing, doing an awesome job. And once I get that date going in, I'll definitely hit you up, let you know, so you guys can make plans to come up here. Definitely want to have you back. So peace, love, and happiness to everybody. All right.
Yep.
All right, man.
Thanks.
We
Thanks,
appreciate you
fellas.
joining us, and you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Right on, man. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah. Same to you.
You too.
Thanks. Later.
Later.